I'm gonna paint the picture for you guys. I went to a wedding the other day, and there's this beautiful girl. She's roaming around, no one to talk to, and I was telling my brother I really hope she gets seated at our table so that we could talk to her, make her feel less alone. God knew, so she ended up getting seated right next to me. So we get to talking, and she's like, girl, I would pay anyone to be my +1 at this wedding. So she started opening up to me about how her dating life has been so difficult for the past 7 years. 7 years. That's a long time. And she's like, but it's so hard because my family keeps pressuring me with the age that I'm at. They just want me to get married already. And then she was explaining that other people in her life are like, you're way too picky, your standards are too high, and you're never gonna find anybody if you don't lower them. And she said that she used to listen to this, so she would just date guys that were good enough, okay? And she was like, I wasn't really attracted to them, didn't really have that much fun with them, they didn't really add anything to my life, and I just felt like I was settling. She was like, I reached a point that I was like, you know what? I know what I want, I know what I deserve, I'm done settling. Honestly, so refreshing to hear, because lately I've been seeing so many people in relationships that are not serving them well. Quite frankly, it makes me really sad, because being in the wrong relationship, especially the one where you're truly settling, it's so draining in every way. Hear me out. At the end of the day, you have free will. You don't have to choose less for yourself. You can choose a better life, a better relationship, one where you're no longer saying, man, things would be so much better if. Sometimes you just need a little nudge or to hear somebody else's story to gain those 20 seconds of pure courage to be able to walk away. You might ask, how do I know I'm settling? Man, you know you're settling, especially if your heart is starting to like beat a little bit faster listening to this video, or you're wanting to click out of this video right now because you don't want to hear somebody confirm your feelings. Maybe you're constantly comparing your partner to somebody from your past or somebody that you currently know, but you're just not dating. You can tell deep down if you're settling and you need to walk away. So if that's you, keep listening because you deserve better. But first, I want to clarify something. Just because you're settling or you feel like you're settling, it doesn't mean that you're better than this person or that you're above them. That's not what I'm trying to say in this video. It just means that there just may be an area or a few areas where you just feel like it might not be best for you, and that is okay to acknowledge and to do something about it. So why do we settle and how do we stop? Here's my take. Personally, I think a big portion of why we settle or just get into a relationship that we're not really feeling is because we're too busy listening to outside voices and the people that are closest to us in our lives. The noise of their opinions based on their own experiences in life and their own hurt and pain and their own relationships sometimes gets so loud in our heads that sometimes it gets really hard to hear God's voice, which is why we need to constantly set our eyes on Jesus and keep finding ourselves in that first love intimacy with Him. Similar to the woman from the wedding, her family and these outside sources are either placing pressure on her to speed up her dating life, which totally disregards God's timing, which is way better than our own, or they're saying she's too picky and needs to lower her standards, which totally disregards God's ability to do far more than we ever could have imagined for ourselves. I remember I was maybe 15 and I was at my friend's house. We're talking about future husbands and how I had this list of what I really wanted or felt like I needed in a husband. I don't have that list anymore because I trust God more than myself, and I don't know, I'm just like kind of vibing, you know? But I do still have high standards. And I remember her telling me that I'm too picky and I'm never gonna find anyone if I don't lower my standards just a little bit. And as a little girl, even at 15, I was like, you don't know my God.
The audacity!
Like, do you know how big He is? And I was like honestly mad at her. I was like, how dare you tell me that I'm not gonna find anyone if I don't lower my standards? Like, I don't know what kind of guys you like around here, but I am not dating a scrub. Back then, I was just like, I knew, you know? I knew what I wanted, and I was not about to let somebody tell me what I should do with my standards. Dad's workers came in. I told her that's ridiculous and that God would never let me settle, because he won't. He's too cool for that. So if people are speaking doubt into your life, I'm here to remind you that God's ways are way higher than your ways, and his thoughts are way better and higher than your thoughts. He is the biggest dreamer. He can do absolutely anything that he wants to do. And the thing is, he cares way more about your purpose than you do. So why would he want you to be with someone that will cut your roots before you can even grow? Why would he want you to be with someone who doesn't create fruit in your life? And why would he want you to be with someone who does not assist in making your life this abundant life that God called you to, and be someone that's going to distract you from your purpose in life? So I want to encourage you, don't let the opinions of other people affect your faith and your trust in God. Don't let their story become yours. I find that the people telling you to lower your standards are usually the ones that are settling themselves. Not all the time, but sometimes. Please don't listen to the people out there that tell you all men cheat and it doesn't get much better out there. God is a big God who will blow your mind if you just trust him, love him, have faith in him, and dream big with him. He loves big dreamers, let me tell you. Another reason you might be settling is because of fear. Fear holds us back so much in life, and I'm tired of letting it control my life. I don't know about you. There's so many people that are like, I don't feel like I'm good enough, so I don't think I'm gonna do much better than what I have now. Like, he treats me like a gentleman. I don't think there's many others out there, which there's not, but it doesn't mean you're not gonna find it. I'm sorry, I forgot that a child of God doesn't deserve the blood that Jesus already shed for them. I forgot that the blood made them worthy. That's my bad. By what standards are you not enough? Is it because you don't have your whole life figured out? Seems to be what my ex thought about me. Is it because you're not attractive enough? Let me ask you this. Do you know your worth enough to know that you deserve a partner who is all about you? Someone who will support you, lift you up, point your eyes towards Jesus instead of towards themselves, be selfless and not self-seeking, be slow to anger with you, be patient, be kind. Do you think that you deserve that in a relationship? If not, and I say this with a lot of love, then maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship right now. Maybe you need to find out more about God to find more about yourself, because if you don't know your identity in Jesus, you're not really ready for a relationship, because you're gonna have this unstable identity and it's not gonna be good for anybody, including your partner. Another common one is you might have fear of not finding better out there, so you'd rather put up with things that you don't really like instead of letting them go. Not gonna lie, I felt this after my first boyfriend and I broke up. I was like, what if there's not another gentleman out there, or another guy that like does as much for me? When I tell you there's a lot more out there, that's a fact. And it's interesting because when my ex and I just recently broke up, I didn't feel that at all, because this time, first off, I have so much more trust in the Lord now than I did back then. I just know that he's got me. And second, I met so many guys since my first ex. I've met guys that have made me laugh harder, that were better gentlemen somehow, that were more driven, or that loved the Lord, like genuinely loved the Lord. And honestly, it just comes with maturity, experience, meeting new people, and trusting God. Really, if you think about it, this is such a weird mindset, because if you're settling, then you can do better, but your mind plays this trick on you that it's like such a risk to let them go, because what if there's not better out there? You know, doesn't really add up. Let's think about this logically for a second. There's, I don't know, 7 to 8 billion people out there. And you really think that the best girl out there is the girl from your high school hometown that complains about you all the time? Or you're telling me that the best guy out there is the guy that calls you names all the time and yells at you to make you feel small? Yeah, I just don't think so. This just goes back to trusting in God, that he knows what's best for you, he knows what you need. So trust him and come back to a place of following him. That's why you're getting tired and burned out. Thankfully, you don't have to take the lead. But life is full of choices and you have free will, so you have to make a choice to trust God, because he never settles for us. Here's my problem with this mindset. Some of you might not care. I'm gonna share it. It causes you to settle because it's too narrow-minded. Don't limit yourself by limiting your mindset. Almost every one of my exes said to me, not every single one, a good amount of them though, they're like, I'm never gonna find another girl that's better than you. I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life. While that may be true, just kidding, I'm kidding. The truth is, I'm not the only awesome girl out there. There's in fact going to be girls that are just as awesome as me, but way better suitable for my exes. It literally just varies person by person, and it's okay if they're not the absolute best option for you. Again, it doesn't mean they're awful or that you're better than them. It just means that there may be better out there for you. You have to recognize and remember how big your God is. He said that we go from glory to glory. So if you broke up with your partner, it wouldn't be in God's character to give you someone that's worse than them for marriage. He wants the best for you because he cares about your heart. He wants to give you an abundant life. He loves to bless you. And most importantly, he wants you to be able to fulfill the mandate that he placed over your life. And God knows that you can't do that if you're too busy being distracted by somebody that's not the best option for you. So if you're thinking that you can do better for yourself, chances are you probably can. One of my exes, like I said, was really great in many ways, but he didn't respect my boundaries. He put me down sometimes, yelled at me sometimes, didn't really love God truly to his core, and that was the most important thing for me. So even if he was incredible in 97% of our relationship, that 3% carried way more weight than the 97% did. And to me, that is settling. It doesn't mean that I'm way better than him. It just means it's not what I'm looking for. If you're not satisfied now, chances are you're not going to be satisfied in marriage. Obviously, that's a very broad statement, but don't bank on them changing. Make sure that you're happy with what you see right now. Relationships can just be so draining emotionally. They can cause emotional soul ties, physical soul ties, maybe strongholds, and it's exhausting to always have the thought in the back of your mind that you can do better in an area or a few areas. My ex was trying to make me question everything about myself, and I don't deserve that. I deserve someone who's going to support me, lift me up, point my eyes towards Jesus, speak life over me, one who would never make me question my worth and what I have to offer. And you don't deserve that either. It's not worth it. But what is worth it is waiting for the right person who's right in every way, not just some ways. The one where you're no longer looking over your shoulder because you're not satisfied with what you already have. I know it's not easy, trust me. I am not trying to make it seem like it is the easiest thing to just walk away from someone that you probably love or at least really like, but you have to try to take yourself outside of the relationship just for a moment and ask yourself what's worth it. Your time is precious and you deserve the best option for yourself. You deserve to be happier than sad, but the thing is, you have to believe it for yourself. I hope this could maybe give you perspective into your relationship. I'm not saying just break up with them. Don't. If any of this video kind of resonated with you or made you feel some type of way, then I just suggest just pray about it. Ask God, do you have better for me? Is this something that I need to walk away from? If he says walk away, then just ask him for the strength because he will give it to you. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it will be worth the wait. Okay, bye. Okay, no, for real. This is it. It's over.